The legendary Bill Russell unfortunately passed away today at the age of 88 years old. A legendary human being, not just a athlete, legendary person. I wanted to make this to really dive in and talk about, like, I think Bill Russell has the greatest career in the history of sports. The greatest career. Top to bottom, the guy was immaculate. Again, and that doesn't even compare to how great he was off the court as a lifetime civil rights activist, especially around the time that he was doing it, or when he started doing it, around the time of Martin Luther King Jr. and Muhammad Ali and guys like that. But Bill Russell, obviously 11 NBA championships in 13 years, the first black coach in the history of professional sports, which he would go on to win 2 titles as a coach, having the Finals MVP named after him, arguably the best rebounder of all time, the greatest interior defender of all time, a member of the 25, 50, and 75 best players lists of all time. He did everything. He did everything he possibly could to establish himself both on and off the court, and he was a perfect example of someone doing it the right way. He paved the way for many guys to come along. Kobe, has credited him as being, one of the best ever, as has LeBron and Jordan, and you know what I mean. He was like the first big name in the NBA. He was before the Wilts and the Kareems and the Jerry West and the Bird and the Magic and the Jordan and guys like that. He was the first big one, and especially around his time, where he was easily, more often than not, the best player on the court in games that he played. So, legendary. Rebounder, of course. He averaged 22 for a career. Blocks weren't even around for half of his career, so it'd be interesting to see how many he would have averaged. Probably a good, 5+, if not more. If you want to talk about an amazing human being and an amazing athlete, it starts and ends with Bill Russell. The guy just, everything from being a civil rights activist to being a one-of-one NBA player. Accomplishments-wise, he's the most successful. You know what I mean? He was in 13 NBA playoff series, and he won 11 of them. And the one of them he didn't win, he was hurt for. You know what I mean? So when he was healthy, he lost 1 clean series, as crazy as that sounds. So the winningest player in all of pro sports, the winningest player in NBA history, again, setting the precedent as a coach, being the first ever black coach. The guy just lived to make history. He lived to be at the forefront of a leadership that we're talking about all these years later. We're talking about all these years later, almost 60 years, and we're still talking about Bill Russell. Because he was retired by, I think it was like 67 or 68, and then he was still, he became a great coach. 13 rings in total. 5 MVPs. I didn't even mention that. Not many guys can say they've won 5. I think only 4 guys have ever won MVP 5 times, or 3 guys: Kareem, Jordan, and Bill. I think that's it. So, Bill Russell, legendary player, legendary person, legendary career, gone at the age of 88. He lived a very long time, and he wasn't even a vegetable when he passed. He was still active, still doing what he usually does, and he made it a point to emphasize, like, just because he's old doesn't mean he can't do stuff still. And he was crazy charismatic, flipping off Charles Barkley at the awards show, pointing at all the big 90s centers and saying, I'll kick your ass, and getting the whole crowd to laugh with him at the awards show. He just had everything, and it's a really big loss, not just for basketball but for sports, to have someone leave that had such an impact on the game like he did. As far as impact, you can't name. You can name probably 1 or 2 guys that are in that same breath as Bill Russell as far as what they brought to the game, both on and off the court, because your contributions will always outweigh whatever you're able to accomplish. So, Bill Russell, gone too soon, one of the best people in the history of this planet, one of the best athletes of all time, and a winner in every capacity. Rest in peace to the great Bill Russell.